I just thought I was like in the Twilight Zone. It smelled weird.
When I got there, the first thing I noticed is just the air is like so refreshing.
Really?
Yeah.
In the middle of everybody's Asian. You know, that was like the first time in my life that I was like the minority, you know?
It's called public bathhouse that everyone go and then they take a bath together.
The reason why I didn't encounter this is probably because it's probably blacklisted by the military.
Welcome to BKK to USA. From Bangkok to the US, we talk culture, life, and everything in between.
Welcome back to BKK to USA.
This is episode number 7. I'm Vince.
And I'm Penny.
And today the episode name is Exploring Korea for the First Time.
We're going to talk about our first time in Korea.
Yes, we are.
South Korea.
South Korea, of course, South Korea. I mean, I don't think too many people travel to the north of Korea. North Korea.
I see many YouTubers go to North Korea.
It's like extreme travel, though. So yeah. I'm not going to North Korea anytime soon.
All right, let's get started.
All right.
What was your first impression of Korea when you arrived?
Well, when I got there, I remember it was dark and I didn't know what anything looked like. And I got to Osan Air Base. I think it was Osan Air Base because it was when I was in the Army, obviously. And then we got on a bus. We just got on a bus. And they were like, "You're going. You'll go into the corresponding bus for what area you're going into." And back then it was like Area 1, Area 2, Area 3, Area 4. And I think Area 1 was like Seoul. And I was on orders to Yongsan Army Garrison in Seoul. So we took the bus up there, and they took us straight to the barracks. And when I first got there, I just thought I was like in the Twilight Zone. It smelled weird. I remember it smelled weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got used to it. I mean, it's kind of like when you go to like Kuwait or Afghanistan. It's just the air quality.
Really?
Yeah. But like when I would come home on leave, I noticed that it smelled different. I think it's just the fresh air. It didn't like smell bad or anything. It just you could tell there was something like in the air that was making it smell like that, you know. It didn't smell like, you know, kimchi or anything like that. It just smelled different, you know. And when we got to like the big parking lot of DHL, we just pretty much, you know, got told where we were going to go sleep, and that was my first impression of it.
All right.
But I didn't really like it though when I first got there for like the first 3-4 months because I worked a lot. I didn't have any time off, and then when we went off base to go out to get like chicken and beer and stuff, I don't know, I didn't like it at first, but then obviously it grew on me. But what about you?
The first time that I went there, it wasn't when I went to do my master. So back in 2013, that was the very first time that I went there. And I went there with my mom and my brother with a tourist agency, a tour agency. So the first time that I arrived there, I remember it's fall weather. But I remember it's really cold. But think about back then, it's probably just like 55 degrees, like about 18, 19 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I remember it's cold. And when I got there, the first thing I noticed is just the air is like so refreshing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, from like Bangkok?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And yeah, I remember it's cold because that I don't remember the last time that I experienced that cold weather.
Yeah.
Because even in winter in Thailand, it's not that cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember it's fresh and cold, the air.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, wow. Because I remember I would start blowing my nose a lot. Like I got stuffed up real easy. And my earwax turned like black. Because I like every time I take a shower, I clean my ears and stuff. Like almost immediately, my earwax turned black. Like I was like, you know, cleaning my ears and just black stuff was just all over the Q-tips. It was like immediately noticeable.
Yeah, I didn't notice something like that.
But I mean, once I got all like comfortable and all that, and I lived in that house, you know. In my situation, I worked every single day, probably like 12 to 14, 16 hours sometimes. But I had to, if I wasn't working, I had to walk everywhere. That was something I had to get used to too, because I was like a lower enlisted guy. So we weren't authorized to have like personal vehicles. So I would have to either walk everywhere or like catch like a taxi on base. And because the first like 6 months I didn't go off base. It was like little America in the middle of Seoul.
So you just spent time.
Well, I mean, like I went off base for like work.
Oh, yeah.
But like I wasn't doing anything personal. It was like wherever my boss went, I was a bodyguard, so I had to go where he went. You know, that's what I did. So I didn't really get a good impression of it, and like personal time until he left Korea, and we got to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
So.
And back then, I didn't really know anything about Korea. In 2013, when I went with the tour agency. Yeah. So it's just like I got exposed to just what the program was.
Yeah, I didn't even know where it was on the map when I got orders there. I tried everything in my power to get out of my orders. I'm this close from signing a deck statement because I remember getting the country brief and I just blew it off. I didn't read the country brief.
Why not?
Because I just had all the intentions of not going, and then I ended up going because somebody talked me into, you know, had a cool assignment and all that. But yeah, I wasn't really wanting to go to Korea at all. But it was like one of the best things that has ever happened to me professionally, personally. So
yeah.
All right. How did you prepare for your trip to Korea? What were you most excited about?
So the second time that I go to Korea was when I got the scholarship to go to study my master at Inha University. Yeah. And I was just excited about the weather maybe. And then I was nervous, obviously, because it's going to be just me.
About the weather, you mean like the Four Seasons? Or
Yeah, the Four Seasons. And back then I didn't get to experience snow. So the first time that I see snow like in my life. And first fall too, like when I see the color change on the tree. Okay. Yeah, it's in Korea.
2014?
Yeah, 2014.
Wow. Dating ourselves. It's a long time ago. It's like 11 years ago.
Yeah. So yeah, I was excited about Four Seasons and then about like I'm gonna dress according to the season, like layers and wear hoodies or a sweater or a coat. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So what about you?
Well, mentally, I didn't really I was single. I didn't have anything holding me back in the States. So, and I just was very unhappy about going at first because it was a long trip, man. Because I had to pack up all my stuff at Fort Carson in Colorado. Had to live out of like a backpack for like a week, and then how the Army moves you when you PCS. Is like it's just an uncomfortable time, and then you get there, and I was so low in rank. I was a sergeant, but still I was like super low in rank according to the Army. So I didn't have any like resources. All I had was like what was in my bag, like a couple of my bags, my wallet, and that's just the Army prepared me to go there. Mentally, I was not ready to go. I didn't know what to really expect because I blew off the country brief, and I was like, and I had a supervisor. He was like, "Hey man, just enjoy the food, but just don't come back with a wife." And I'm like, why would I come back with a wife? And I came back with a wife and a child. So yeah, I just stuff. Yeah, just great, right?
That sounds like a dark joke.
No, it wasn't. No, because he was like, they were like, oh man, they're gonna love you over there. Because back then I was like big, muscular, and stuff, and like, they're gonna love you over there, bro. I'm like, oh man, okay, whatever. Didn't really understand that statement at all, but now I do. In hindsight, it's like, okay, probably should have listened to them a little more. All right.
Did anything surprise you about the cultural differences between Korea and the US?
Yeah, because I was just shocked of how much like Seoul was like America. Seoul was like just the
Big city?
I always call it the New York City of like East Asia, you know. I've only been to Seoul and Tokyo and a couple like pretty much every city in Korea, any medium to large size city in Korea. I've been to Thailand. I haven't been to like other countries, but Seoul is, an awesome place. I love Seoul. It's like one of my favorite places in the world. I would live there if I could. But the food was just different, and I was kind of hesitant to try it until I had chicken and beer, and then I had Korean barbecue, and then I started like going out to like the food, like the street food places and all that, and trying new stuff, and then I think like 6 months into being there, I met you, and then you kind of got me out of my comfort zone and showed me around, how to use like the subway and how to use the bus system, all different types of restaurants we went to. Because I had like one day off a week, if that.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We just went out and explored Seoul or went to like a local restaurant like Sukdae or Itaewon or Shincheon, and, those are our favorite places. So, but yeah, nothing really surprised me because I knew I was in Asia. I mean, I just remember walking down Itaewon and I was like, oh, wow, there's other like, foreigners here. Because at first, when I was working every day, I was like, me and my team, we just stuck out like sore thumbs. Because we were all like in the middle of everybody's Asian. That was like the first time in my life that I was like the minority, So that was a little.
And you are like the biggest person.
You know how people like in Korea don't like go out of their way to move?
Yeah.
They'll just bump into you. Everybody got out of my way. It was great. People even got up for me like on the subway. It was awesome. They were like, oh, wow, okay. But I'm not like that anymore. I used to be. So.
Are you still kind of big and muscular?
Kinda. Yeah, I got the super dad bod going on. Yeah, did anything surprise you about the cultural differences between Korea and Thailand?
And for me, the first thing that I noticed is kind of like similar, but a little bit different. Korean people would ask you your birthday, which is birth year. But they're going to ask, it's not like they're going to ask the number of the year that you were born. They ask the Chinese year that you were born.
Korean people did?
Yeah. So they're gonna ask like what Chinese year that you were born.
Like
yours?
Like the year of like the zodiac
dragon.
one?
Yeah.
I'm dragon.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
So they can decide how to address you properly. It's kind of like Thai people. But they didn't ask your age directly. They're just gonna ask the year that you born in Chinese year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason why I didn't like encounter any of that because we had the Katusas. So when we went out and stuff for work, I didn't really like talk to anybody that didn't speak English. We had them to relay what we were saying to whoever we were talking to.
Yeah.
And then the Katusas, if they were good Katusas and we had good Katusas, they would let us know of what was okay to do and what was like seen as like disrespectful. There was like very, very few. I can't even remember more than like 3 situations that they had to be like, hey, don't do that, But I mean, we were like a law enforcement entity, so people just kind of like respected us.
You.
Yeah. So
yeah. And then the next thing is, do you know they have public bathroom?
Bidets?
No. It's called public bathhouse that everyone go and then they take a bath together.
In Korea?
In Korea, yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
It's called Mokyokthang. So it's like a bathhouse and it's a part of the culture too. Like, hey,
okay.
You want to go to Mokyokthang today to take a bath together?
Like butt naked, sitting in there? I didn't know that.
With,
Oh my gosh.
with other people too, not just you and your friend, and with other
It's
people,
just for random
strangers.
random folks.
Yeah. and
And you don't know what you're not gonna what you're gonna walk into. It could be like something good or something bad. Is it like mixed gender? Is it all one gender or?
it's all one gender. So
Oh,
so how it's structured, right? You go in there, you pay. You can spend a night too. But if you just pay like okay one rate for just okay take a bath.
why you spend the night
I know some people sleep there
together?
together with other people, like one big room.
Like a big orgy?
No,
This is blowing my mind. Okay. Okay.
so okay, you pay one rate just to take a bath. For another rate is going to be a little bit more expensive, but you can spend a night there.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm trying to do this. Okay.
And then you pay. They're gonna give you a key, like for your locker.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get in the locker room, take everything off, put your stuff in the locker.
Mm-hmm.
Then you walk into the bathroom. It's like an open area with a lot of shower heads,
Yeah.
and a lot of bathtubs.
Hold on. Did you do this?
I did.
Oh my God.
I want to know what it's like. And my friend Mook, she liked it, and she's
You were
like,
all
hey.
butt naked together in one room.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm just now finding this out. I've known her for 9 years. Never heard this before in my life. Holy crap. Okay. You and Mook were just sitting there butt naked with each other.
Okay, so the first thing you have to do, right? You get in there, you take a shower, kind of like rinse yourself.
Yeah,
you
like at the
scrub.
pool. In the pool.
Oh, like the pool.
Yeah.
But you don't have anything on your body.
Okay.
And then after you clean your body, you can go in the tub. So there are many tubs, right? And they're gonna show you the temperature of each tub.
Uh-huh.
So like this one gonna be warm, this one gonna be warmer, this one gonna be hotter. Hot tub. So you can choose which one you're gonna go in there. And then after you're done with everything, you can get dressed and then you move to another room. It's like hanging out room with other people.
Yeah.
Like one big hall. And you can buy snacks, you can buy drinks, and gonna be TVs. You just lay there, hanging out, talk, watch TV with other people. Like 20, 30, 40 people
That you don't know.
that I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you
Okay.
can, if you decide to spend the night, you already pay for it, you can sleep in that area and then leave the next morning. Or you can just go out. And they also have the service where like old lady come and scrub you. Like you're naked, lay down on this bed. And then they're gonna scrub.
All right. I think
The
the
dead
reason
skin.
why I didn't encounter this is probably because it's probably blacklisted by the military. Like, hey guys, don't go to a random bathhouse and take a bath with a bunch of Korean strangers and get scrubbed down by a old lady.
Yeah.
Don't spend the night there.
That.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's common. But the first time I went in there, I didn't know where to look, Like, where should I look? Because I'm going to see a stranger naked too, like next to me, and they don't care. Like, they're used to it.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be like naked with a bunch of dudes. I mean, I'd be down for like, naked with a bunch of chicks, but
That's not going to happen.
I wouldn't be with a bunch of dudes at all. I'd be excited. Be like, oh wow, we're gonna have to take a bath. Can't wait to see some of the chicks. No. Nothing but sausages everywhere. Sausage party. No, not for me.
Yeah. Oh, and when I start to work with Korean people in Korea. Oh no, and even when I go out with my college friend, they're gonna go. It's called 1차, 2차, 3차. So that means when you go out that night after work, you go to many places. So it's like the first round, you go to eat at the restaurant, and then the next round you go to drink at like a bar. And the next round you're gonna go to karaoke or something like that. So that's the cultural difference between Thai people and Korean people.
Thai people don't like to take baths together.
No, ever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. What was the first food that you tried in Korea, and how did you like it?
I tried kimbap from a convenience store. And I loved it. It's like an easy meal, easy, cheap meal.
Yeah.
Easy, so you just can just grab it, put it in microwave, open it, and then you can just eat like that.
I cannot remember if I'm going to say this correctly, but I think my very first Korean food that I had was hot pot bibimbap and yakimandu from the Katusa snack bar. I could be wrong, but it's either that or it's like one of the highway stops, like the triangular rice kimbaps. I had those, and I remember the Korean corn dogs, like at the highway stops.
Rest area.
Yeah, and that blew my mind. And then that's when like I didn't have chicken and beer until we all went out as like a group for my team. Because you probably know the picture I'm talking about. It's like when Snyder was holding the selfie stick, and it's all of us. That was the first night that I went off base, not for work.
Oh wow!
And we went to Apadoc in Sukdae. And that blew my mind. And then I think the next week we went to Yellow Chicken, and that's when I thought it was so spicy, right? And I'm like, can I just get another one without the sauce? And I was dipping it in the sauce, and I'm like, it's still spicy. And then like the waiter came out in English. He was like, that's the same sauce that you're dipping it in, and it's on that chicken. I'm like, okay, yeah. But yeah, I love Korean food though. I could talk all day about Korean food. You know this, but it's hard to pick like a favorite.
Yeah.
Everything that I tried there, I liked, except like some of the weird stuff. I didn't really like some of the weird stuff that I wouldn't normally eat.
Yeah.
But if you go to like a Korean restaurant, 9 times out of 10, bibimbap or galbi or anything like that is going to be on the menu, right?
Yeah.
Love everything, just not the weird stuff.
Did you face any language barriers? How did you communicate in Korea?
I did. Yes, I did. But it was on a daily basis, and after a while, I'd say after a year of being there and working every day and all that, I could tell what people were saying by their mannerisms. Because like people would like talk with their hands and all that stuff, and I would always have an interpreter with me. It wasn't an interpreter, but it was a Korean younger person. There was a Katusa that were always with us, and after a while, I didn't even need the Katusas no more, especially for like directions and all that stuff, because I got to know the city and where we were going a lot. But it was really. I remember every event that we went to, because my boss did a lot of like speaking engagements, and I remember it was very frustrating. Every time that anybody talked, it was the English, and then there was the Korean translation, and then we would be talking, I would stop talking, and somebody would translate that what I said, and then the next person would talk, and then their translator would translate. So there was like 5-6 translators a part of every little speaking engagement, and everything just took so long because the language barrier. Nobody, my boss didn't speak Korean, and they didn't speak English, and he was like the top military person on the entire peninsula, so just imagine the meetings that we were going to. The only person that I encountered that didn't really have that issue was the ambassador, the U.S. ambassador at the time was Lippard, and he spoke like fluent Korean, just a white dude.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was very frustrating. So I mean, it was just a part of working in Korea. Just got used to it, but after a while, you can you could tell like what people were trying to say just based off their like mannerisms and all that stuff. So, but you learned Korean, right?
Yeah, so for me, I studied Korean for 4 years when I was in college in Thailand. I worked 1 year at the Korean embassy in Bangkok. And after that, I went to Korea and I still had the problem talking to people.
Because didn't you say it didn't like actually work? Like what you learned didn't work with like
No,
actually
just,
speaking?
yeah, because when I was in Thailand, I still use Thai for mostly like 95% of the time. And then when I went to Korea, it just hit me in my face. Like everybody speak Korean and they speak fast. And I mean, they expect you to understand Korean. I don't know if you encounter any of this, but sometimes when you go to a restaurant and then one old lady come and then she just speak to you in Korean fast.
No, I didn't really mind it because it was like a load of stress off of me because I had no idea what people were saying around me. It was great. Like if somebody wanted to talk to me, like, no, I don't speak Korean. Nope. And it was great. I was cool with it.
Yeah, and in the first 3 months, I think I was depressed and I had homesick, and I feel like what I used was just broken Korean for a long time. Sometimes I understand what they were talking entirely, but I just couldn't reply at that time. Like it took time to process.
Yeah.
Yeah, but after that, I just like adjust. I even dream in Korean sometimes.
Still?
No, back then.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah, that would have been weird, especially spending all that time learning the language. I'm like, and then didn't work.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I did all that for nothing. That would have pissed me off.
Well, I mean, same with English because my English was like not that good, not this good.
No, definitely not this good. No.
Yeah. So I think it's the same. It happened to every language, to every person that study language. Yeah.
Oh man, what is your favorite Korean dish, and did you try any street food?
You want to answer first?
I don't know what my favorite Korean dish is. There's so many. The jimdok, the Korean barbecue, the bibimbap, the hot pot bibimbap, the Korean fried chicken, multiple different types of Korean fried chicken. I like their spin on Italian pizza. I like their left coast burgers in Itaewon. I like everything that I've eaten. The kimchi stew place with the red barbecue, whatever it's called. That place. Everything that I tried, I loved. Even when I was drunk and I ate those like the little intestine things with your brother, they were okay. They tasted like gummy bears.
All of us spicy.
Oh, the chicken feet?
Chicken feet.
That was pretty good too, because I was just drinking my face off, and every time that my face or my mouth was on fire, I would just down soju and boom. There you go. And like, oh man, the almonds, the honey was it the yellow bag almonds?
Yeah,
You remember
it's
what I'm
honey
talking about?
almond.
Honey almonds. Those were super good. I like the rice cakes. Man. Man.
Aloe drink.
Aloe drink. I would drink like one of the 2 liters
Yeah.
every day after the gym.
The marshmallow.
Oh yeah. The deep fried. No.
No.
It was a s'more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a s'more.
It's more with ice cream inside and the burn outside.
Yeah, but the street food, yes. And Myeongdong, you remember the sausage guy like right outside of, I forget what station that was. I think it was like we were leaving. Was it Myeongdong?
I think it's Myeongdong.
But yeah, it was just like your regular. It looked like a hot dog, but it was like a extra thick like sausage, and they would just put mustard on it.
It's Chinchon, I think.
Are you? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, because there was the McDonald's there. I can't remember. We went so many different places, but we had like Shinchon was like one of our favorite places to go. Hongdae was another. Okay, we went there a few times. Sukdae, Itaewon. Where was that? We took a picture there. It's up on our wall in the living room, and it was a Korean barbecue place. It was like down an alley. I can't remember. There's so many. I can just talk for days about that. It just makes me sad.
You want to go back to Korea?
Yeah, if like it wasn't like, crazy situation in North Korea 5 years ago, I probably would have just been like, let's just stay in Asia. Because I was thinking about when I was with the company when I was in Afghanistan, I was just thinking about doing that and just staying in Thailand. But we did everything that we needed to do for your visa and the baby and all that. But I mean, back then I was completely fine with living in Asia.
Yeah.
Still am. We have a lot. We're like really, really tied down right now.
Yeah.
Well, what about you?
For me, I have so many things. I like jjajangmyeon, black noodle.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yep.
With 탕수육, the sweet and sour pork, fried pork.
Yeah.
Jjajangmyeon, 탕수육, 찜닭, bibimbap.
I forgot about kimbap too.
Kimbap and bingsu, soybean.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and street food. I like tteokbokki too. But you don't really like tteokbokki.
Yeah, it's just not for me. I remember the baked cheese from Myeongdong. It was always by like the lobster tails they use with the torches. Yeah. I like the baked cheese a lot. Yeah. I just love Korea so much. I really wish we could just go back, but I mean, it's such a small country for how many people there. So we wouldn't have a house. Like we wouldn't have a house probably. We'd probably have like an apartment, a condo or something, or
you wouldn't have a yard.
Yeah, and it's like our kids are just so used to where we live now. This is our home, and like what I was talking about earlier, I want to go back to like Thailand when we get older, but if the kids don't want to, I don't want to be 10,000 miles away from our children.
Yeah.
So maybe we can be like what do they call those people when they go south for the winter? Like snowbirds or whatever.
Yeah, you can go to Thailand.
Just go to Thailand like every other year or something like that. I'll just have to work until I'm 95. Pay for the flights.
Oh, and surprisingly, I tried blood sausage.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
Yeah.
So it's like, inside it's like, I don't know what they make from. It's like on the noodle, the glass noodle mixed with blood, and then it's stuffed.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, in the sausage, and they cook it, and then I ate that with tteokbokki sauce. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, I've eaten that too. It's okay, but it's not like my favorite thing I'm gonna go try to eat. Yeah. But man, I could talk about Korean food all day. Like the place down in like Cincinnati area. I can't wait to go back there. We should go to tomorrow's Mother's Day. We should definitely go there for Mother's Day. You know what? Let's go there tomorrow.
Really?
Why not? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Yes. Okay.
How did you feel about Korean hospitality and customer service compared to Thailand or the US?
Well, I went to a few establishments that did not like my kind at all. They were like, "Oh, no, get out. No white man, no, like no military."
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what place? What kind of place?
It was like a restaurant / bar. You can tell that they just thought like I was with like Geiger and a couple other people from my team. And I just remember going into this place and they just maybe it wasn't Geiger, but I just remember going into this place and as soon as we locked eyes, like this older Korean lady was, "Oh no, you get out, no, you don't come back here." I'm like, okay, but I mean that was very rare.
Yeah.
Because everywhere that I went, people wanted me to see watch me eat the food and get my reaction and all that, Machiseyo, I would always say that and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, you speak Korean." I'm like, "No, I don't speak Korean at all." Nope.
Yeah, so to me, I think they have service mind. Like wherever you go, if you get lost, you can just show them the name that you want to go, name of the place you want to go, and then they're gonna try to help you.
Yeah.
Even when you can't speak Korean, they're gonna try to, lead you to that place.
I did like getting drunk with Korean people. That was so much fun. Just random people at bars. They're just down to have a good time. You gotta be careful because I feel like there's bad people everywhere. But I had a great time in Korea.
I mean, with your size, I don't think anybody want to mess with you. Any Korean.
Nope. I didn't really. Well, I mean, some of those dudes are like really like highly skilled in Taekwondo. I'd probably get my ass kicked. I would like, whip out my pistol and shoot them, and I'd go to prison.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh, he did," and I'm in jail in Korea. What were some cultural norms or etiquette in Korea that were different from what you're used to? Oh, the slurping.
Yeah.
I guess it's like a compliment, right?
Yeah. I think I can't even do it. It's like.
Yeah, and I remember hiya. A lot of people hiya, hiya, hiya.
Oh yeah.
You know. And then how they smoke cigarettes, they go like they're smoking weed or something. I just remember people would hold their cigarettes like a weird, like they're smoking a joint.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't experience that.
Oh no, I definitely did. I definitely did. Yeah. Etiquettes.
And when you go to, I don't know if they still do this. When you go to a Korean restaurant, they put chopstick and spoon directly on the table.
You know what I used to do before I met you?
Oh.
I had a. You're gonna laugh at me. I brought a fork and a spoon to every restaurant I went to. Yep, from my house.
What? Since when?
Huh?
Since when?
Just when I was like trying to eat freaking rice with chopsticks. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I didn't always use it, but I always had it. So, but I'm like naturally good with chopsticks because I grew up eating American Chinese food. So.
Yeah, and one thing I learned when I was in Korea is that when you drink, like when you get a drink from an older person, you can't just drink like this. You have to, turn, and sometimes you have to cover your mouth and then.
Yeah, I didn't get that,
like
and
that.
they do this too. Like they put their arm right here or whatever.
Yeah. Because I think when you hand something to someone, just one hand is not polite.
Yeah.
So they do. Yes.
I wish we could like talk to like one of my Korean friends about this kind of stuff because I miss them. You know who you are. Nobody's ever gonna watch this or listen to it, but they know who they are.
Maybe they can be your guest, our guest.
No, they're grown ass men. They don't want to do this. This is me and my wife on a Saturday night when I want to be doing stuff for work. I mean,
You're forced to.
I am forced to, especially this episode because you're very, very excited about it. So
Yeah. Have anything else to add?
I can't really, I don't
really encounter that.
No, etiquette, yeah, because etiquette was a very big part of my job. I remember everybody having a driver, everybody having like a security detail, and everybody was important. Everybody has a freaking business card. Like if I'm somewhere and you're talking to somebody professionally, you're gonna get a business card. They could be, I don't know, cleaning the building, or they could be the limo driver for another boss. They could be a security manager for a hotel. They could be a protocol officer. They're gonna give you your card. So we had business cards that were just generic. That I don't think we were like mandated to, but I always had like a big stack of them, like in my suit jacket pocket. So I would always exchange business cards. I still have a lot of them actually in my Korea box. But that's one thing that was noticeable that I remember.
What was the most memorable place you visited in Korea? Seoul Tower.
Oh, you mean like a specific place?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay, for me, Seoul Tower.
Yeah.
Hangang Bridge.
Oh, Bampo Bridge. The Bampo Bridge.
Oh, Hangang Park, Bampo Bridge.
Hanam, like going across the Han River, there was like a bridge going into Itaewon.
Yeah.
And I drove everywhere. Every single day I was going on like, I would have to drive different routes. I would have to go places and do advances and all that stuff. I saw the whole country like in a car, so I went everywhere. So when you ask that question, what's the most memorable? I mean, Pohang, just I was up on a mountain overlooking like what the military exercise from that point of view. That was really, really cool.
All about Olympic.
Oh yeah, Pyeongchang or no, yeah, Pyeongchang. I went to the 2018 Olympics. I was always in helicopters. I flew all over that country. Busan, Hyundai Beach is a really cool memory of mine, especially like the sand sculptures. You remember?
Yeah.
When they were doing that when we went down there. Yeah, I saw a lot of stuff. I don't know. Seoul, of course, is like, again, one of my favorite places on the planet. But you remember when we went to Seoul Tower? No, it wasn't the first time that we went somewhere, but I was wearing like that blue hoodie or that blue polo.
I think that's the second time.
And we got lost because I let you lead.
Was that Seoul Tower? That's not Seoul Tower. We went to Banpo Bridge, and we decided to walk there.
And it was like 90 degrees. I was drenched in sweat. It was I was so disgusting.
I was gonna talk about the same situation.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, why would we ever do that? You know? It's like, goodness gracious.
But that was like our fourth date,
Yeah.
and we didn't know each other that much.
So I remember. So let me back up. I'd say the most memorable place for me in Korea was the Grand Hyatt in Seoul, in that hill, because I was there so much. I went TDY there, like I stayed in the hotel for work. I would go up and down that street for food, for drinks, all that stuff. And I really liked that area because it was part of like the bottom half of like Itaewon, and was that Naksapyeong?
Yeah, I think.
I can't remember. It's been so long.
You know me with direction. I can't.
Yeah, I think it's like Naksapyeong, and you're going like right before you hit the tunnels. There's a hill that takes you straight up to the Grand Hyatt, and I was always at hotels, always at like really like 4-star, 5-star hotels, and that's another big, those are big memorable places for me because I still remember if you drop me in Seoul right now, I could probably get you around still because I drove those roads so much, and like it's everything is coming back to me. It's making me happy. But like night drives through Seoul, and we would go to like the U.S. ambassador's residence, or we would go to another ambassador's place, and you would just see like above you, you're like in this little compound with walls and stuff, and I was probably outside like smoking a cigarette or whatever with like my team, and you just look up and you hear things of the city and you see the lights, and it's just like it's a cool vibe that when I'm like, I want to move back to Korea, that's what I want to relive. But I'm not going to be doing that.
Not gonna be the same.
At all. Never. I don't think anybody other than the people that were on that team didn't have the same like experience that I did. I'm very grateful for that. So, What about you? Just Seoul Tower?
Seoul Tower, Banpo Bridge. I think it's just because I went there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Busan.
Oh, what's the Korean barbecue restaurant?
Where?
Angtori. Angtori?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about places I went with you. Jimdak, the premium Jimdak place. Yellow Chicken. Man, there's so many. There's
육삼냉면.
Yeah.
So many restaurants.
Yeah. I really love that part of my life. I wish we can go back and do it again. Sorry, I'm spacing out. Okay.
How did Korea's public transportation compare to the U.S.? Like subways or buses?
So I only used public transportation in the States when I was in like high school, because we moved from my hometown to a town over, and I was still going to my high school because I was a senior, and we moved my senior year. So I think we broke the rules. I'm not sure, but because I was still playing baseball for the high school that all my friends played for, but I lived in another town.
Oh.
But I didn't have a ride to school every day, so I would have to take like the bus. And it's not like public transportation in Korea or Thailand. It's like I mean, it's there, but it's like you have to live by a bus stop to be able to use it. They don't go everywhere.
Oh.
Because like where our apartment was, you just walk down like this little hill, and then there was like a bus stop right there. So it took me to the next town, and I would just like get off somewhere, and then I would walk to school.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I used public transportation in San Francisco one time because I was lost. I was trying to get back to San Jose, and the dude that I went, you know the situation, the dude that I went to go see, we got split up because we were all drunk and stuff. And that's the second time I used public transportation. But when like me and my mom moved over to that other town, my mom used it every day because she couldn't drive no more. So that's how we just got to the next town, or we needed to go to the store or whatever. Just you would have to either wait for the bus because it comes like every hour or something like that, or you would have to walk. But Korea, I mean, you showed me how to use like the bus system and the subway, and once you learn how to read the subway map and get the bus routes and all that stuff, it's super easy, super cheap to use.
Yeah.
So I wish we had something like that here, but we don't live in a big city.
So compared to Thailand, I think it's so much better, especially buses. The bus system in Korea, you can expect the time that the bus gonna come down to the minute that is gonna come.
Yeah, the apps are super accurate.
Yeah, like you can use the app and I'm talking about like this is 10 years ago. I don't know about how it is right now, but even 10 years ago is so advanced. Like you can look at the app, and then when you go to the bus stop, you're gonna see the sign that is say, okay, this bus is gonna come in 10 minutes, in 3 minutes, and it's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty accurate because I remember freezing my ass off with you, just sitting and just staring at like, okay, 12 minutes. Okay, I can't feel my hands.
Yeah, and I like that you can just use one card. You put money in the card, and then you can
T-money?
Yeah, did to everything like subway, and then you go to the bus, and you can just tap it, and then you don't have to pay more. You don't have to pay separately. Sometimes you can just pay 100 won additionally, and then cheap and
different way of living here, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do miss that though, but I it's just so peaceful here where we live specifically.
Yeah.
Because like we have that here. You just have to go to the like a big city. Yeah. You just haven't gone to anywhere that you can use public transportation like that. I'm sure it's like that. I don't think it's as safe as Korea, because you know how like there's CCTV everywhere and crime really isn't that big of a thing in Korea.
Yeah. But
you go to like some subways and stuff in the United States, it's not a good idea after a certain time, And I don't know. I never really, other than like the metro in DC, I haven't really used like a subway or anything, but I hear things. Did you find any similarities between Korean and your culture? Yeah, they like to drink. They like to drink, and they're very patriotic, actually. Very, very patriotic. I can't tell you how many times I went to an event and they were honoring like the fallen of the Korean War, and this was like in the Korean War, I think ended in 1953. This was like 2015 to 2018, and they were still, every year they would do these ceremonies, and it was always a big deal, and just very patriotic, because I could only imagine what like the people of Korea went through during the war, because it was a civil war. Our civil war was in the 1800s, So, and it wasn't, our country wasn't anywhere what it is now, but the going from what Korea was to what it is now in a short amount of time is kind of just crazy to think about, But I noticed that they like to drink, they like to eat, and they are patriotic, and it's just kind of like America, a little bit.
I think Korea and Thailand, they respect older people.
In Thailand? Or in Korea?
Both. We're talking about the similarity.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, and we eat rice, mainly. And we use spice. So the taste is kind of like the same, I think. The food, like sweet and savory. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the fashion, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when I dress, like how I dress in Korea, here in Ohio, and people look at me.
You'd be like, what the hell is she wearing? Who the hell is that? what boat she get off of, you know? That type of thing.
Yeah, I don't like that. I want to dress like fashion. Like
Well, we
I
just
go to
gotta go
fashion
back
show.
gotta go back to Bangkok or go back to Seoul. You know?
It's okay. I leave.
You live?
I will leave.
You will live.
I
You will
live.
live in Ohio. Yes. You will live in Ohio. Okay. All right. What did you think of Korean fashion and beauty trends? Did you try anything new? I'm going to let you answer this,
Okay. So I think I try everything pretty much when I was in
especially
Korea.
taking baths with people,
It's just-
random
I
people.
got convinced to do that.
I'm sure. I got to talk to Mook about this. I got to hit her up.
Yeah.
Say, yo, why didn't you guys let me know about this when we were dating? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. And fashion. You know how I like Korean fashion or Thai fashion.
I don't know.
And
I buy my clothes where I get my groceries. So,
And I feel like in Thailand, when they want to, promote something about fashion or beauty, they use like, okay, this is from South Korea. Like you use that for marketing a lot. Yeah. So I think we get influenced by Korea.
yeah. Did you get a chance to experience any Korean festivals or events during your trip? Yeah. I mean, did you know what I did for a living there?
Oh yeah.
Every time, I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many like K-pop like singers sang for where I was at. It was like every time I went to an event, it was a big deal. There was fireworks, there was dancing and singing and mama mama. You know, everywhere. It was over the top. That's another thing that I'll never forget. The Korean baseball games
Oh.
blew my freaking mind, because I remember the first one we went to, I think it was for my birthday,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
and we sat like right behind the dugouts, and I'm like, okay, why are these big ass speakers just chilling here? You know, they were like angled towards like the stands, and then the MC, the dude, like, I don't know, it just looks like somebody that would be on Korean television, would come out with a microphone. He's like, has a jersey and like the pants on, and then the dancers and the skirts and stuff, and they start singing songs, and it's like a concert, and I'm like, they're dancing in front of me, and I just want to watch a baseball game. And then like when the home team is up, they are like, everybody knows every single word of every single song, every chant, every player has their own like, theme song and stuff. It's like, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is crazy, man. You go to a baseball game in the States, and it's like most people aren't even paying attention. Like it's quiet. They have like music and stuff, but it's nowhere near how, again, this was like 10 years ago, but that was probably my favorite, hands down, my favorite experience of all the events I went to and everything like that. Even the Olympics. I mean, the Olympics, the Paralympics, that was pretty cool. But Korean baseball games took the cake for me. That was my favorite thing that I experienced, like event-wise. What about you?
I mean, talking about that Korean baseball game, that's the first time in my life that I go to like a baseball stadium. Mm-hmm. That's the first time you saw. I didn't have anything to compare with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Melissa. You know?
Remember that, yeah.
And for the longest time, I was trying to figure out who that guy was. His last name is Jimenez. They're trying to say Jimenez, but they're Melissa. Oh. That's how I became an LG Twins fan,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it's just like Cherry Blossom Festival or...
Oh, Halloween in Itaewon. Remember that?
I live in Itaewon, but I never go to Halloween in Itaewon.
So I got to Korea in October of 2015, October 12th to be exact. And I was, as soon as I got there, I was sent to the Grand Hyatt for this mission for like 10 days. And during the mission, it was Halloween. And I remember I just got off work and I had access to like the executive lounge. That's how I got into like wine and like brie cheese because it was all free. So I got all those perks. And I went downstairs because I knew there was a bar, and I just wanted to get like a cheeseburger or something. It was a while since I had like American food, and they were having like this crazy Halloween party. Like there was black lights everywhere. Everybody was like had like makeup on, like full makeup, and they were like not weird music, but like techno music and all this stuff. And I just was like looking around like, am I allowed to be in am I allowed to be in there? Are they shooting a movie or something? It was just a Halloween party.
It's just so many people though.
Yeah. Because like that year I didn't get to experience the Itaewon, because I think like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, remember when like all those people were crushed by like the stampede or whatever? Yeah.
Incident. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was there years ago, and I can, speak on like how many people were there. It was crazy packed back then. I can only imagine what happened then, but that's another event that I'll never forget.
Yeah. And I went to, it's called Water Bomb. It's kind of like a concert, outdoor concert with maybe 2-3 stages, and then they just spray water.
Kind of like Songkran?
Kind of like Songkran, yeah.
No.
And I just attend seminars for graduate students. That pretty much it that I did. What was the most unexpected cultural difference you encountered in Korea? So I never encountered this myself, but I heard it from my foreigner friend. And they said that they went to somewhere, like it's not in Seoul. They went to somewhere together as a group, and they spoke English to each other. Then this random lady just yelled at them, told them, "Hey, you in Korea, you have to speak Korean," but yell at them in Korean. Like, if you're not gonna speak Korean, just go back to your country.
Shibari Noma.
Don't say that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Shibari Noma.
Don't say that. Why some Korean audience listen to this?
They probably laugh. Right? What did I say?
Maybe.
What is that?
So it's like a word.
Yeah, like an idiot. Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Boom. I used that correctly.
Nothing. Unexpected cultural
everything,
difference.
dude. Everything in Korea was unexpected. And then
you get used to it, and you forget about it.
There's this there's this saying that everything is kind of like ass backwards in Korea.
Huh?
Everything's kind of like backwards in Korea.
What do you mean?
Based like versus the United States. Like if you're like, I was just like your average dude in the army that just kind of got uprooted out of like a really nice place in Colorado, and then hey, you're gonna go to Korea. I didn't know anything about Korea. I had horror stories about Korea before I went, and then I get there. I'm in the middle of this huge city, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm stationed in New York City, And it was like everything just was unexpected. Everything that I did was unexpected. I didn't expect to have a good time in Korea. I didn't expect to like the food. I didn't expect to find a wife and impregnate that person. I didn't expect any of that. So yeah, just everything was unexpected for me in Korea.
Okay.
Yeah. How did you feel about the bustling city life of places like Seoul versus more tranquil areas in Korea? Well, I think Korea kind of reminded me of like Pennsylvania with like the landscape and all that stuff. Especially when you get up like, cause I got to go to a lot of places where people don't go, like up on the DMZ, like on the border. There's like people like in specific areas on the border, and I got to go see like where they were at and all that stuff. And it's really beautiful up there. It got like rolling mountainous hills. They're huge hills. It just was kind of peaceful, but in the distance you can see like the watchtowers, and you get like the binos on. You can see the guards looking at you and all that stuff. So I could see Korea being a very, very peaceful place. It's just in the middle of the freaking like the war still going on, technically. But Seoul was really nice, but as you got out of Seoul, it was a different Korea.
Yeah.
Even when you got down to Busan, it was completely different than Seoul. So it's a completely different like accent of people talking. They like different foods down there. But if you go out into the countrysides, like between Seoul and, you know, and I know Seoul is up here and Busan's all the way down there, but I went like everywhere in between. Yeah, it was just, you know, straight up Korean. And you would, if you're not with a Korean person, you're probably going to have a little hard time. Because I remember that this one time that we had to go down to, I think it was Pohang, and we didn't have a place to stay. And thankfully we had one of the Katusas, and he was still trying to, you know, he was having a hard time for like finding people that wanted to help us, because we had the government travel cards, and everywhere we went wouldn't take it.
Why?
Because we were just going to like these mom and pop like hostels, because there was nothing around. We were in the middle of nowhere. So we were like, hey, let's go get something to eat, because we drove 5 hours to get down there, or four and a half, 5 hours to get down there from Seoul. We did what we had to do, and then we got food. We were like, let's get food first and then find a place to stay. So we did that. By the time we got done eating, it was like 9:30 at night. And then we didn't find a place until like 11:45 that night. And I just swiped one of my buddies swiped his just personal credit card. And we got in trouble for it because we didn't use the travel card. I was like, and then, yeah, but different situation. Yeah.
I love Seoul.
Yeah, I love Seoul.
I love Seoul. I love Seoul, everything. I just like convenient. You can find anything within step. Like wherever you go, wherever you are, you can.
It really does suck that like the situation like with South and North Korea sucks, because Seoul is such an awesome place, and you're like 30 kilometers from like, you know,
the crazy.
Yeah, but like Seoul would be destroyed. Like if like they launched missiles and stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody in Seoul would die. You know that, right?
If it's that powerful, then they're not gonna get affected too.
Oh no, they will not exist. If that if they do that, they will not exist they will not exist anymore.
Oh.
Just based on like the U.S. response. But I'm just saying, everybody in Seoul will die.
Yeah.
Sucks, because there's like millions of people that live there.
Yeah.
You know, and I have so many memories there, and man, just talking about this makes me like nostalgic and all kind of sad but happy.
Yeah.
Did you encounter any challenges during your trip, like getting lost or figuring out the food?
I got lost.
Okay, so I just assumed that she was like an expert because she spoke Korean and she lived there and she had to go to school and all that stuff. Nope, not the case. Every time that we went somewhere, she got us lost. Every single time.
Not every time.
Yes, every time. I just distinctly remember just watching you, like look at your phone and you go, and then you turn around or you turn that way and you go the other way. I'm like, okay.
Because you know, sometimes when you get to a subway station, there's so many exits that you can choose from, and when you exit from one exit, you like it's different direction completely.
I feel like everything in Seoul that you want to do, it says, "Oh, we're right outside this subway exit. You take this exit. You walk down the road. You take a left from this exit."
I don't know.
I guarantee it's like that. It's 2025.
I guess.
I guarantee it was like that back then.
I don't know.
You just you Google things like restaurants and stuff right now. I guarantee it gives you directions from the subway line.
Maybe it wasn't
in like
like
4
that
different languages.
10 years ago, 11 years ago.
I bet it was.
Anyway, the first time that I lived in Incheon, right? Because I lived by my university. Inha University is in Incheon. I got on a subway and then I went to Seoul, and on the way back, because I needed to go back to my dorm, right? In Incheon. On the way back, I remember I was on subway line 1, and then you have to transfer. Like you need to get out of the station, walk to transfer to like another subway. And I got lost. I think it's Nodrangjeon station. I remember we went to the fish market, the area. So I need to transfer to that subway. But I went to a different direction, and then I didn't know what to do. Because I got lost, like really lost. And that was like maybe like 2 months in Korea that I went there.
How'd you get home?
I called a friend in college, and then, hey, like I'm right here. Like how? Like what should I do? What do I need to do? Which way should I go? Something like that. And then I figure out. But I remember when I got back to my dorm, it's dark already. So yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that sucks. I got lost a few times for work, but it's just because we just took bad advice from one of the dumbass Katusas
Oh.
that I didn't like. There's only like two I didn't like. Actually, no, there's one I didn't like.
Why didn't you like him?
Because he didn't listen to me. He didn't listen to me. He challenged everything I said. I'm like, dude, I just you're the interpreter. He was like, I'm not an interpreter. I'm an agent. I'm like, no, you're not. You are the interpreter. And I really almost Spartan kicked him in the middle of the Westin Chosen in Busan. In front of a whole bunch of people. Yep. Including like my boss and my boss's boss. Yes. I yelled at him in the lobby. In front of all these people. You know who you are. You know who you are.
I don't think he's listening.
Nobody's listening. Except me on the way to work.
If you could go back to Korea, what would you do differently or explore more?
I would eat more Korean food as much as I could. And I didn't really have much time off. So I think I did everything that I could. But if I didn't have that, if I went back and didn't have that job, I would pick out like a different restaurant. Pretty much not every day because that would get expensive. But like maybe every couple of days go to a new place. You know, and then like because we have children. If we didn't have our kids and we were younger and all that, I would go to more coffee shops to do my work. I would be like a digital nomad. I would like stay in like cheap hostels instead of like going out to like these crazy 4 or 5 star hotels and living like luxurious. I would just kind of like backpack through Korea, through like big city to big city. That's what I would do if I'd go back. But as a family, I don't know. I don't even know if I would like living there as a family of 4, you know. I know we wouldn't have our 200-pound Mastiff in Korea.
No.
You know, I don't know. We'd probably just have like cats. I don't know. What would you do differently?
I think I would
Not download Tinder.
No. Explore more. I would take more pictures and secure them because I feel like I don't have any pictures from that time anymore.
Really? Where are they? They should be on your hard drive.
I don't have that many.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a bunch. They're just on my old computer.
And then probably I would record more videos.
I wish we, like how you do like the family videos and all that stuff. I wish you would have done that with us when we were
like
dating.
do vlog.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, me too. But then I just thought that we were just dating. Well, if you break up, this thing gonna be, you know,
Then delete the
digital
videos.
footprint.
Delete the videos. What do you mean?
This is why. And I didn't know if you were down to do that with me. Like go places and then you're like, hey, camera. Maybe not.
I want to do it by myself, but I mean, you know, all the stuff that we did, I wish we would have, because we only have like, I don't know, a handful of videos.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of pictures. I still have a lot of memories. How did your perception of Korea change after your trip? What would you recommend to others visiting Korea for the first time?
I just feel like I met a lot of good people there. I love Korea. It's like my second home. Like I feel lucky. Like everyone that I encounter in Korea,
Yeah.
they were nice to me.
Yeah.
And that period of time of my life is like a special time because I feel like I know Seoul more than I know Bangkok.
You do, for sure. Yeah. Because I ask you questions about Bangkok all the time, and you were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, weren't you like raised there?
And yeah, what would you recommend to other visiting Korea for the first time? I would just say, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And if you don't know anything, like you get lost, just don't hesitate to ask people there. I think they're willing to help, especially in Seoul.
Yeah.
I feel like people nowadays, they can speak English more than when we were there.
Yeah.
And I feel like they have service mind, like I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be willing to help you.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I mean, my original perception of Korea, I just didn't know anything about it. I didn't want to know anything about it. I was kind of butthurt that I had to go there. But 6 months in, it became like my home because I extended three times, three different times to stay there longer, and I wanted to stay there more, but the Army had different plans. That's why I got out of the Army, because if I would have got to stay there more, I'd still probably be in the Army, But now it's like, it's a fond memory of mine, and it's one of my favorite places in the world to go to. I hope I get to go back to Seoul at least one day. But I would recommend to people that are going to go there for the first time, watch some like YouTube videos on like the food and like the nightlife and like what to do there before you go. Because if I would have done that before I went in 2015, I think I would have been more open-minded to do more things, because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know where it was on a map. I feel like everything that I did in Korea, I did as much as I could because of like my work schedule, and I had a blast. I don't have any regrets of being in Korea or whatever I did in Korea. I'd go back if I could meet all the people that I worked with and that I met while I was there. I'd meet every single one of them again, because I miss all those guys, So I didn't really meet other people outside of work other than you, but yeah, they like one of my best friends that I talk to all the time and I play Fortnite with, 50-year-old man almost. He's like 45, but still, it's like, it's one of my favorite people in the world, just I met him in Korea, and he's not the only one. So, I mean, I would go back and I'd do everything over again. I miss that job. I wish I could do that job again, but it'd be a little rough with the kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch the YouTube videos. If you like American Chinese food, you're going to like Korean food. I'm telling you, like anything you try is going to just blow American Chinese food out the water. The food is just outstanding. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So that's going to wrap up episode number 7. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want, you probably don't, but if you do, go ahead and subscribe. We got 16 subscribers right now?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, buddy. 2 of it. And that's 14?
14.
We're
because
subscribers too.
subscribed.
Yep. But yeah, we put out videos every week. Not too sure about the episode topic next week, but you'll just have to hang around and figure it out and find out.
Yes.
All right. So that's it for episode number 7. We'll see you next week.
See you next time.